Ah, you all right? Listen, I hear that you're somebody that you go to for some gear. You know what I mean? Well, listen, I need I need to get some Zuzu. What? No, Zuzu. You know the devil's cabbage, the magic broccoli. Zuzu. True, true. So, The Exorcist II came out in 1977, 5 years after the original, and was received with mixed critics. So, I'm going to start off with the things I did like. I did like the cinematography. I thought the cinematography was pretty good. I actually enjoyed how it was shot. Like, there are scenes like with Regan on a skyscraper, and like you just see like the overall scene. You get scenes like, with the most iconic scene with the bug, so the bug that always appears flying in certain scenes, and then there's like always a plane flying, and it has like the wheels underneath it moving, and it's like symbolism. It's like symbolizing the insect. You know, Maybe I'm looking too into that part, but I did like that. It was cool. I thought the acting wasn't as good as the original, but it was still pretty decent. The two main casts, Linda Blair, who did a great job in this movie. For what she got, and Richard, who plays the priest, he did a really great job too. I was actually really enjoying his character. Just a straight talking, get to the point type of guy. Almost reminded me of Leslie. Is it Leslie Nielsen from Naked Gun? But before he went to comedy, he had the serious roles. He had that just straight face, and you know, that sort of vibe he gave me. So that, and I do like that they tried to do something different. You know, did they pull it off perfectly? No, but I do admire whenever a director or writers sort of have an original bone in their body, which these days is pretty lacking. Like, that's why modernly today most horror movies are just being remade or rebooted because they've run out of originality. And I know this movie gets bashed to shit, and I understand it and I get it, but you have to at least give props for them trying to do something different with a sequel that has no business being a sequel. The first movie should have been a one and done. But yeah, so I give props to that. It didn't it didn't go perfectly. It didn't pan out as great because there was rewrites throughout this whole movie. But I admire them for trying something different. So that is something. And something else I did like was I loved that they went back to the house from the original movie. They even went back to the steps. And like you have a scene where Regan is walking up those steps, where the priest from the original, passed away when he threw himself out the window. So I thought that was really cool. They go back to the bedroom, the iconic bedroom from the first movie. So I really loved all that. Little callbacks. Awesome stuff. Really loved it. Now, on to the stuff I didn't like. Now, what I said earlier about the rewrites, you could tell. You can tell. This movie, plot wise, it's a mess. It's literally all over, all over the place. It's even Linda Blair herself said that she refused numerous times, and then they gave her a script that she considered pretty good, pretty good. She thought, oh, okay, this is actually pretty cool, yeah. And she admitted that the script that she was shown before she agreed to come back was not was nothing like the script that she was shown in the beginning. It was rewritten so much that she didn't even recognize it. And because of contractual significance, she said she couldn't drop out. She wanted to, but yeah, by then it was too low. It was too late. But which is a darn shame because you know maybe it's just me, but I feel there was too much information thrown in about the demon, about the Zuzu, as they call it. Great name for for a demon. I can understand why people would sit in the theaters and think, "What does that mean? What? I don't get it. I'm not understanding this. What's happening right now?" That's, I guarantee, a lot of people that have watched this movie in full have that thought. Never the credits come up. So, what happened to? So that's one thing I didn't like. There was a little bit of bad acting in this movie, and it was like some cringy dialogue, for example. Also, fun fact: did you know that whenever the possessed version of Regan appears in this movie, and did you ever wonder why does she look a bit different compared to the first movie? That's because it's not Linda Blair. That's why it's a double. It's a double playing the possessed demon, primarily because Linda Blair refused to undergo the whole makeup thing again that she had to endure in the first movie. So they said, okay, well, we're going to have to bring in a double, put the makeup on her, and that is why she looks different. Fun fact. And they have one final battle with the Zuzu slash possessed Regan, and the whole house basically in the end gets completely destroyed, which in a way is kind of cool. It's kind of closure. That was the house that and now it's gone. So it's like symbolism. It's finished. you know in a way, that part's pretty nifty. you know but it just sort of ends with Regan seeing Sharon being cradled, and then she says well, what does she say, Reagan or something, and she's like, she just dies, and she's like, no, Sharon. Then just a few seconds later, her and the priest just basically walk off together, and that's pretty much it. The movie pretty much ends there. And another thing I didn't like. This is just possibly a nitpick, but in certain scenes, whenever they're showing the history of the Zuzu, there's a voice that's screaming. It's like shouting, screaming. It's intended to be unnerving, and you know, and it is. It is kind of creepy. The first time you hear it, it's very unnerving. But they play it numerous times throughout the movie to a point where it gets annoying. It actually starts to grate on you. You just hear it, and just this high pitch, screaming and moaning and shouting, whatever. It gets really annoying. It's like, right, I get it, shut the fuck up. but But I mean, yeah. So the whole plot thing is it's all over the place. The hypnotism, the hypnotic parts, where like I said, dialogue, like there's good and evil. Good and evil are both fighting inside Regan, inside her body. It's like, whoa, okay. And like how they have it that Regan doesn't remember anything from the first movie, that she only remembers being sick and sleeping and dreaming a lot, which is good because at the end of the first one, she didn't really remember. So, it pretty much carries that on. So I get that. That's fine. But the movie is just all over the place. Now, to talk about what was my favorite scene in this movie. Well, my favorite scene is actually a scene whenever the priest comes face to face with like a tribal guy and he has the insect like hat on, which is it's pretty cool. Again, it's all symbolic. But he's standing there and he has the floor full of nails, and he's asking him, if you really care, if you really believe, in God or the light, whatever, come forward to me, step on these nails, prove prove to me that you believe. And my favorite shot in the whole movie is just whenever he does it, he gathers the courage up and he just steps on, and you just see his foot stepping on these nails, and the nails just going through the foot, and he falls into it. And he wakes up and it's like a nightmare. But that scene was just so fucking awesome. I really, really liked it. The practical effects of the foot going into the nails, awesome. Chef's kiss. So that was my favorite scene. Loved it. Fun fact, did you know that it was originally written in the script that Ellen Burst's character, Regan's mum, was the one that was supposed to die at the end of this movie? And in a way, pass custody for Regan over to Priest. Hence why they walk away together at the end. Yeah. But because Ellen Burst refused to come back, they had to rewrite it and put it as Sharon instead of Regan's mum. Fun fact. Yeah. What would I score this movie? Look, is this the worst horror movie in history? No. Definitely, absolutely not. No. I think it gets a bit too much hate, in my opinion. I watched it. Absolutely, there was so many flaws, such a big mess. But I still got a bit of enjoyment out of it. Definitely nowhere, not even close to the original. It was never going to be. Never. Like I said, the original should have been a one and done. Shouldn't have been any sequels. But I kind of enjoyed it, but it's it's not something I think I'll watch again, if that makes sense. If I feel like watching an Exorcist movie, I'm putting the original in. So, yeah. Too much hate, but absolutely understand it. I get it completely. I would score this movie, I think, because of the mess, because even Linda Blair herself said this is one of the most disappointing movies that she has ever done in her entire career. Probably 3 out of 10. I have to be honest, guys. It was a mess, but I enjoyed the fact that they tried something different. It was unique, it was different, but it's just for an Exorcist movie, no, just not. No. So, there you have it. So, if you stuck around this long, thank you so much for watching. I wholeheartedly appreciate it, and I appreciate all of you. And let me know in the comments, what did you think of this movie? Have you seen this movie? Do you plan to watch this movie? Have you PTSD from watching this movie? I think 99% of horror fans just blank this out. They see the DVD cover, The Exorcist II. They would get on the shelf. They would grab another one and cover it with something else and pretend it doesn't exist. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Appreciate it. You're awesome, every one of you. And as always, don't kill anyone.